Hi, today's blog is going to be about living with an ICD pacemaker. And again, this is Lisa Major Elders. And I'm going to be as honest as I can about my experiences because people have asked me what it's like to live with an ICD/pacemaker. I will say that my first ICD or implantable cardioverter defibrillator I received in 1996 after my cardiovascular collapse. I was 28 years old. And they put them right here under the chest, so you can see the top part of the scar there. I've got 4 scars where they've all been. This is my 4th device. Much smaller than the first one, by the way. But that is where they go. They form a little pocket over time, and after a while you get used to having them there, so it's no big deal. But the very first one that I had was a bit larger, so I do, believe it or not, have it. And here, I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. Should have had it ready. But anyway, this is the first one that I had, the very first defibrillator made by Medtronic. Saved the case because it was a big deal for me. So, but that is it. And it was rather large here in my chest. Now the devices are probably about 2/3 that size and not quite so thick. But they still have to have room for the capacitors and everything in there. But as I was telling somebody who was undergoing the surgery recently, it's not a bad surgery. The worst part probably is when they initially put the leads in. Those have to get settled in there, and then this has to form a little pocket. And but when you go back in for the subsequent surgeries, when you have to have the defibrillator replaced, they just go in on the same scar or incision or near it anyway and pop the new box in, and you're done. So you usually go home the same day or the next day. Over this time, it has been a lifesaver for me. I started off getting shocks like every 3 months or so, and that is what it was supposed to do. And the first 2 devices have been exclusively defibrillators, so they provided me with my own little EMS crew in my chest, and people always ask me, do you feel it when it goes off? And I have to say, why, yes, I do. It's not like a pacemaker, the shocks are not. A defibrillator is there. You know how they get the paddles out externally. An external defibrillator has to go through muscle and tissue to reach the heart to shock you out of an arrhythmia. And this one is thread transvenously through the veins to the heart and then provides us with life-saving shocks. Say that 3 times fast. Life-saving shocks. And that is how it works. And since it doesn't have to go through the tissue and muscle and everything, it can get by on a lot less joules. So a shock is generally like 20 to 30 joules, depending on how hard it has to work to get you out of the arrhythmia. The newer ones have some pacing options, so they generally try to pace you out of the ventricular arrhythmia first before going to the shock tiers. And so they have different tiers or levels that they provide therapy on. So I just wanted to share that with you. This one also is a pacemaker. So in addition to being a defibrillator, it has pacemaker functions. And in recent years, particularly since my last cardiac arrest in 2007, which was 10 shocks, they have started using the pacemaker more. My resting heart rate was a bit slow. It was in the 30s, and that became kind of symptomatic for me. So it helps me, gives me a little more energy. It preserves my heart enough so that I don't have the ventricular episodes quite as often with the pacing options. So it's been a lifesaver for me and a great blessing over the last 15 years. So again, it's here. And if you are undergoing this surgery, just know that you can do this. I admit when I was 28, I was a little skinnier, and it did stick out more, but now it is, it's just part of me. And so I would recommend this surgery to anybody. So if you need this life-saving technology, take advantage of it. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.